Hello, my name is Keith Haswell. I'm a professional astrologer with 25,000 clients worldwide, and I've been practicing astrology for 38 years. It's my pleasure to welcome you to this video. Now, what I'm going to be talking about here are the basics of astrology. Astrology is a massive, complex science, and it's very difficult to break it down into terminology that the newcomer can really relate to. To a certain extent, it's difficult for me to be able to not speak in cosmic terms to try and make it understandable. So, to a degree, I'm speaking for those who are only on the crest of the wave of evolution and are on the forefront of the human race. Now, as far as the science of astrology is concerned, we have to look at the larger scheme of things for it to make sense. Now, science can't relate to astrology because they can't relate to design in the universe. I mean, they lack humility stupendously when you think about it, that they only think that consciousness is aware and awake and alive here on Earth. And yet, when you look out into our galaxy, 100 billion stars in the Milky Way galaxy, it's a bit of a stretch of the imagination to say that all of that is just has no meaning or purpose, and that all of the planets that are revolving around those particular solar systems don't have any meaning or purpose. And there's hundreds of billions of galaxies in the measurable universe. But what I want to try and do for you here on this video is to just encapsulate the basics of astrology and try and keep it in as simple terminology as possible. Having said that, now we must look at things from a cosmic point of view, and that is that we live in the body of a being whose body of manifestation is the solar system, and the planets represent the centers in his body. Just as we have, as I've explained earlier in earlier videos, the vehicles of expression, I've explained that we have centers of energy in our etheric body, and we have their counterparts in the emotional body, and we have those counterparts too in the mental body. So we have centers of energy which are receivers and distributors of energy within our little system. Well, the solar system is the body of manifestation of a being of consciousness who is way beyond the human level. And he has a periphery around the outside of the solar system, and that circle of that periphery is divided into 12 segments of 30 degrees each. And that's what the signs of the zodiac are. And this is where it all starts, is the signs of the zodiac. So you might say that the signs of the zodiac, the 12 signs of the zodiac, have their correspondence in the microcosm, man, with our 12 houses of our horoscope. So there's energies coming into the solar system from other bodies of manifestation out there, other beings of consciousness and conglomerations of stars and so forth. And these energies are coming into our solar system through the signs of the zodiac. So the signs are 12 in nature. There's Aries and Taurus and Gemini and Cancer and Leo and Virgo and Libra and Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius and Pisces. You're familiar with all of those, and you're familiar with the nature of these different signs as well, perhaps, especially those who've studied astrology to any degree. But anyway, this is where it all starts. It all starts with the signs of the zodiac And as far as the Earth is concerned, so that there's two things. There's our daily rotation, and there's also our revolution around the Sun. And that is where the 12 signs of the zodiac come in. So the 12 signs of the zodiac are the receivers of energy and the distributors of energy, and they're distributed into the solar system through the 12 planets. So there's 12 planets in the solar system, including the moon, and you've got the Sun, the Moon, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, and there's another planet which is an etheric planet which is called Vulcan. So these energies that are coming into the solar system, into the signs, are being disseminated and distributed throughout the body of the solar system through the planets, which are the 12 centers of energy in the body of the solar deity. So I know that that's very, very complex, but that's basically what those signs are, and they disseminate energy. Now the planets are there for the purposes of carrying out the function of the centers of the solar being, and they disseminate the energies throughout the solar system as well to carry out his will, his purpose, his function, his design, and his intention. And so when you start to look at things from this larger point of view, then astrology makes more sense. And I'm sorry if I've gone way over your head to start with here, but it's vital for you to have a perception of things from what is the purpose of astrology, what's it designed to do, what's its function, and how does it all function. So to understand that, we then go to your personal horoscope. Now your personal horoscope is determined by that revolution of the Earth on its axis in that 24-hour period. And the point that's on the eastern horizon at the time of your first breath, the point in the zodiac that is on the eastern horizon at the time that you take your first breath, is called the ascendant or the rising sign. And that is the beginning of your horoscope. Now, breaking it down then to the human level, we've got the 12 houses of the horoscope commence with that ascendant. And then we go in 30-degree segments. So say, for example, your ascendant is 20 degrees Pisces, then the cusp of your second house of the horoscope, because there's 12 houses, will be 20 degrees Aries, and the cusp of the third house will be 20 degrees Taurus, and so forth around the whole of the zodiac. So here you are now with a basic horoscope, and with 12 houses, and with 12 signs on the cusp of those houses. And then we have the planets at the time that you take your first breath. Now, these planets are in revolutions around the Sun, and at the time that you take your first breath, they too are in a particular sign and degree and minute of the zodiac. And so in order to be able to ascertain that, it's all done by computers now, but in the earlier days we used to have to do all the calculations with the ephemeris and everything to work out where those planets were at the time that you took your first breath. But now it's all computerized, and so all we need to do is to type in to the computer your date of birth and your time of birth, and that tells us what is your rising sign, and it tells us where all the planets are in that 360 degrees of the zodiac. And when you take those planets as being in particular signs and degrees of that sign, then they must go somewhere into that 360 degree circle of your horoscope. And so therefore those planets must sit somewhere in the houses of your horoscope. Now, the houses of the horoscope are the most exciting part and applicable part of the science of astrology as far as you're concerned, because the sign on the cusp of each of those houses determines what sort of experiences that you're going to have with your personal initiatives and interests, the first house, with your finances, the second house, with your communications, the third house, with your domestic environment, the fourth house, with your relationship with lovers and children in the fifth house, and the entertainments that you allow yourself to indulge in all belong in the fifth house. The sixth house is to do with health and the job and diet and exercise. And the seventh house is to do with partnerships and marriage and the general public. The eighth house is to do with joint finances and inner transformation and mini deaths of ourselves through introspection and reflection. The ninth house is to do with foreign travel and adult study and education, projection of self therefore to new horizons, either through study or else through travel. And the 10th house is the house of business and career, as distinct from the job. The 11th house is the house of friends and other people's children, club activities, group social functions. And the 12th house is the house where we get it all together of what we've learned from these other 11 houses, and we introspect and reflect and bring about changes within ourselves and work towards spiritual understanding. And if we can't do that through the process of introspection and reflection and the beauty and the wonder of solitude, then we do so through crisis and through struggle and pain and hospitalization and internment and so forth.